All right. Just waiting a little bit here, just giving people time to check in. Is what I was going to do. So we're just letting it go. We're letting it run for a minute. We're doing some layout projects today. So we're going to do two things this afternoon. It shouldn't take too long. I've got all my stuff already out here ready to go. I've been battling through doing this retaining wall. This is my second full attempt on building the retaining wall. And it's finally to the point where I can glue it to the face right here. So we're going to do that. And then over here, I'm going to, this bridge over here, I'll move the camera around so we can do things. I'll show you, I'm going to sand the top of it and get it ready to go for painting. So those are our two projects. So hope you guys like this. I'll show you what we're doing. I'll show you, I'm using the foam cure and Fabri-Tac today, so I'll show you how to work that if you've never worked with those two products before. There's a cure time that you've got to have, so we're just going to do them a panel at a time. And while we're doing that, while I'm waiting for the 5 minutes between each one, we'll just talk about the layout and things like that. If you have any questions, feel free to ask. So we're going to set this up over here. We're going to bring the camera around, set it up here. I'll show you first where we're at. Hey, Gabe, sure, bring me my glasses. They're just out there. I need to be able to see what I'm doing. So we're going to start right here. That's going to be our first project. Thank you. Yep. Okay, so let me get the camera and I'll show you where we're at. Okay, so here are the panels right here that I've been working on. We've got 1, 2, and here's the third. The third goes all the way down over here on this end right through there. So we're going to glue this up into place. I just right now have just this holding it up in here. So we're going to just glue that right there. I'm going to try to line everything up. I've been gouging out all of the bottom here. I'll be doing some test fitting and things to make sure it's all going to be flush. Then everything looks pretty good. So we're going to set up the camera and we're going to start working on stuff. All right, I almost got it set up. Yeah, that should be pretty good. That should be pretty good right there. Okay, so like I said, if you've never worked with the foam cure or Fabri-Tac, this will be a good introductory to it. So here is the foam cure that we're going to be using today. And here is Fabri-Tac. I use this as just a backup for just about anything I use, anything I glue onto foam or onto the layout. So I've got a seam right here. I just wanted to make sure it's going to look pretty good. And I think it's going to be all right. I'm going to do a little more carving out of material here at the bottom. Just make sure it's all going to be good. So I'm going to take the first panel off. Just set it over there out of the way. And we're going to take this panel and I'm going to move it up here for right now until I get this, make sure everything's scraped flush. That we're going to be good. I'm going to turn a little bit of light down over here. That way I can see that right there next to that. All right, so we're just going to come along here. I'm just going to make sure I have everything out of here that could possibly not let it sit flush. I probably could have done this before we started the broadcast, but I thought, well, you can see what you have to do if you're doing something like this and you're like adding on or changing things up. I got quite a bit right here. I got to get out of here. I'm going to just go ahead and put these two completely done because I have to do them kind of together because they overlap, these two panels. And then after everything's dried, I'll come back in and I'll reapply the landscape. I think we just about have it here. One more thing, please. I need the vacuum. Yeah, there's a lot more kicked off of here than I thought was going to kick off. So I just need to get this channel cleared. Yep, got it. All right. This will just be noisy for just a second. I'm going to leave it plugged in and everything in case I get any more I have to cut out that I've got to clear. Okay. Now, put this in. A little wandy thingy. All right, it's going to get noisy for just a minute. Okay. That looks pretty good. I'll do a thing. I'll put them both back up here and just make sure. Now you can see I've got a arrow indicating which way up because I have a smoother side here and I can trim this later. Because what's going to actually happen is, that's looking pretty good. We're going to cap this. It's going to come over the top with a piece. Let's see if I still have one. I do. I kind of have something here and kind of show you. This is going to go right here, painted the same color. And it'll come right over like that. So I've got to get everything flush to the top line here. Because I can always, if there's a gap at the bottom, I can always put stuff down there. This is going to be a sidewalk, and we're going to have a fence that's going to go along this entire run right here. These buildings will be set back just a little bit, but this is going to be the backs of the buildings. The front, the street side is going to be over there, so let's just be sidewalk along here. So I'm probably just going to be making the styrene almost the entire width of this, and then just dirty it up. Now, if you didn't watch the video on painting this, I went over on how I've got the streaking done for the fades and everything on this. It'd be a good video to watch to see what I did prior to getting to this point. All right, so I do have to bring this up. You can see right there, I'm going to have to do that. It's flush down here, and it looks like it's going to be fine. I just got to pull it up a little bit when I place it in after the cure time. Okay, so what we do, lay this down. I'm going to use the fresh bottle. I've got an old bottle here that I've been using for track and stuff, the road bed, but I think I'm going to use a fresh bottle on this. All right, let's see. Get it flowing. I did just open it up. So, come on, there we go. Okay. This glue sticks just about anything to foam. Okay. So there's the base of that. And this is Fabri-Tac. I'm going to go ahead and put this up, and then I'll put a bead of Fabri-Tac down because this doesn't have a cure time to it. This stuff's great. I mean, the name says it all, Fabri-Tac. It's made for gluing anything to fabric. Anything, metal, plastic, glass, anything you want. So I've been using this for a lot of odds and ends projects, and it does great, especially plaster work. If you want to glue some plaster to something, that stuff's great instead of like mixing up plaster or using like a one of those adhesives, the all adhesives, the gray that comes like, not like liquid nails, but there's an indoor outdoor adhesive that I use on other things. Okay, so what we're going to do now is we're just going to line this up. This is only temporary. We're going to push this. I'm going to get this up all the way where it needs to be. I do have a paper towel here. in case I need to, which I will. Oh, I had some questions if we're professionals at this, if this is for a movie studio or anything. No, it's not for a movie studio or anything like that. Um, it's just our own personal layout that we do. I've just gotten to the point now where I'm just having fun building. I wish I'd started this when my dad was still around because he was the model railroader. I'm just having a good time. So no, we're just doing this and we're just videoing it. So if you guys want to see what we're doing and see how layout comes together, you can. So all right. And no, we're not getting paid for this at all in any way, shape, or form at this point. We might have sponsorships later, but for right now, no. Okay, so I got that. So now it's up there, but to make this solid as a rock, you now peel it back like this. You can probably see all the little stringies. So now what we have to do is we have to let this sit for about 5 minutes. Air dry. I'm going to get this piece out of here if I can. It's already starting to stick pretty good. I don't know if I'll be able to. Probably not. I'll just mush it into place. And when we put it back up, it's never moving again. I'll actually have to cut the foam if I wanted to remove this. Now, I did talk about how we will be adding graffiti later to this and what the process of that's going to be. Basically, I'm going to I have really thin down here in my stack. I have really super thin styrene. I mean, it is thinner than paper, sheet of paper thickness. I'll cut it. For example, like say I want a graffiti in this panel right here, so I'll cut a piece that's this exact size right here because I can measure it up there and I can get a template. Paint it the same color as this, then do whatever graffiti I want to do on it, and then I'll just glue it onto this. It'll be so thin you won't even be able to see a difference against these beams that we have, these poor seam lines here. It's so thin you wouldn't even be able to tell from this panel to this panel that we have another panel sitting on top. So this way I can make the graffiti I want, the things I want to do, and I can like put them up here and just kind of lay them in place and see where I like them before I actually do anything to it, because it'll be dull coated, it'll be finished just like this is. So all I'll have to do, and since I'm going to have that concrete up here overlap a little bit, you'll never see that on the top either. So that way I can do, I'm going to buy myself, I used to have a really nice calligraphy set that had dip pins with a really, really fine, super fine point. And what I'm going to do is I can't find it. I don't know where it's gone. So what I'm going to do is go buy that, and I'll either use thinned acrylic to ink consistency, or I'll actually just get black ink. And I'll do the scribble graffiti too, so that I can have like a hand-painted graffiti of some sort, and then I can have scribble graffiti. So and being in scale, doing the scribble graffiti is going to be, I have to have a super, super fine point to do that. And so that's why I'm going to use a dip pen, because you can get something that can give you the finest point you've ever seen. If you've seen calligraphy writing, you can see how thin it is and stuff. And so that's what I'm going to use. So that'll be something that'll be coming along later after I'm done being sick of looking at this, because I'm really tired of this wall at this stage. So I will be doing that later. So, but you'll see that as we progress. And then, of course, as everything comes in with up here, I'm probably going to have like some little tiny buildings that'll have graffiti and wear on. And of course, when we do the sidewalk along here, we'll have the lights that come up, and you'll get a cascade effect. It'll be for the sidewalk mostly, but you'll also see it down on the tracks right here. Where the camera's sitting right now is going to be a completely covered area of the tracks, which will be elevated. We'll have our station above the tracks with ways to get down. And the one of our largest towers that we're actually getting ready to start printing next week. It'll be a 3 foot tall tower. So just take this one and multiply it by 2. That's how tall the building is where the camera is sitting right now. And the 3 tracks, the 3 main lines will go right underneath it. Now, again, if you haven't been with us, I've got videos up there showing how I painted these ties to get a really nice, I don't know, a blended look. These were black ties to begin with, and I used a honey brown paint from Americana, just acrylic, and I had a video I showed how to get that really nice, just faded look to it. I got the ends all done and everything, and then once we get the ballast on, this will just stand out beautifully. So that's coming along. This will be, I think this weekend we're going to do a live on Sunday, and I'm actually going to be laying the track down. I think that's what I'm going to do as a work day on Sunday. We'll probably do half of it doing a vertical and half of it doing a horizontal, because I've got a lot of track to put down. I've got a lot of it already painted, but I have a lot to put down. Okay, so I've probably been talking for about 5 minutes. We're probably getting pretty close on the tack time on this. So I'm going to have to be really careful putting it up into place. I'm actually going to pull it out a little ways and start on the top edge, make sure it's lined up, because there's no room for error on this when you get to this point, without ripping the whole thing off and destroying it at this stage, because it's going to be solid as a rock immediately. All right, so let's see what I can do here. Start down at this corner. Make sure I'm at the top of the edge. There. Okay, now we're just going to start pushing it down the rest of the way. Oh, that's really good. Got to talking, it's all right on this. Forgot to put my fabric tack on my final sealer, but that's fine. This is all the way up to the edge, and it looks like it's really good. So there we are. That's solid. It's not even moving at all. Now, I have this right here. This little piece right here is past the edge of this, so that I can tuck the next piece into it and create a seam. So that'll be the next step. I'll put the next one up, make sure everything lines up right, and we'll be done. Yeah, you can see where the foam kind of wanders a little bit. It was hard to cut a perfectly straight edge with it in place. But again, this will be covered. I'll show you here. I'll get the piece again. So, imagine this painted the concrete. So it'll be just sitting like that right there. So you can see how it curves. I'm going to have it overhang just a little bit so I can have a nice shadow casting down onto the right underneath here. So it'll actually be probably a little further out. I'm not quite sure how far I'll go. And of course, this will be a lot wider. It'll probably be over here. The sidewalk will probably be to about right here. So there we go. All right, so this is in, and I'd probably be on the point now if I had to pull it off to be able to pull it off easily, because it's just not going to, I can tell you that. So all these little gaps where the foam is narrower or is further out, this will hide all of that. Let's see here. That's a little closer to the camera. You can see how you're not going to see anything. It'll look perfect when we get done with it. All right. So that's done. This one, when I do it, I'll remember to put the fabric tack on. So what's going to happen down here, these tracks right here are going to curve, and they're going to go out this way because of our jump track being right here that hooks us up to the other side. So we're going to have an actual area right here on the end of this, because I have to bring our elevated track over. We're going to have a actual old tunnel right here, and we're going to have track coming in with a dead end on them. Maybe 1 or 2, like they've expanded since it only had maybe 1 or 2 main lines back in the day. And you'll be able to see through right here, and we're going to put a whole bunch of garbage and stuff in here, abandoned cars along here, and we may even do like a hobo camp right in here somewhere. So that'll look really good right here, having all that detail right here underneath the elevated track headed this way. So this actually, I'm probably going to wind up having to cut about right here and here to get my curves to go over here. I just went a little further because I had plenty of this stuff, and I'll just have to scrape this off right here where this is to get the curve to come across. Okay, so let's go to number 2. And this is what I was talking about. You can see the overlap right here on the end. That'll be down here at the farther end for the third piece. So I want to check and see how I'm doing with this. Make sure I got everything pretty well carved out that I needed to, so it'll get up there flush. Oh yeah, that looks good. And that's flush here, there, and there. Perfect. You can really see a gap right here. That'll be, again, hidden by the sidewalk. All right. So make sure I got my arrow going up, which I do. It's this way, so that'll be up when I hit that spot. Okay. Like I said, I can't tell you how I'm glad I am getting this done. It was worth the effort and the time. I just wish it hadn't crackled on me. And that was just me rushing it, and I shouldn't have been rushing it. I was cold. It was a cold day outside. I painted this on a cold day outside. I take everything outside and I spray outside. I use rattle can paint. And when I painted all of this yesterday morning, it was, I think with the wind chill, we were at -2, something like that. And it still worked just fine because I brought it in and let it dry inside. So it worked fine. And it was just the thing was putting on light layers. When I was doing it the time before, I was doing heavy layers, trying to just get it all painted like within 2 coats. Well, this took me a total of, to paint this up, took me a total of, I think it was 5 coats of paint, just nice light 5 coats of paint. Okay, I got my arrow showing up. So now we're gonna go into place here. I'm gonna get back behind that, make sure everything is good. And we will, I got just the tiniest little bit of a gap right there. It's off just a little bit, but I will hide that with some scenery. So I'm not. Oh, hello. Glad you're with us. Okay. So that is on there. May be able to bring this up a little ways right here. I think I'm down some. So when I get ready to, I may just wind up having to pry it up just a little bit when I do it. Yeah, I do it just like that, and that actually gets rid of that gap too. Okay. All right, so let's pull this off. Pull it away from that. Pull it off. I'll have to really be quick when I put that in back there. I'll put it right there. Okay. All right, so there's the next one. I'll just keep working on this. There we go. Yeah, I don't think I could. No, it's not coming off now at all. That's good. And I do have a bit of a gap, and I was already figuring I was going to be having a gap. So if you watched when I did the landscaping here, I'll just come along with white glue all along the edge right there, pour the white glue down and use my the sand mix that I have to start off with to fill any of the gaps. If you didn't see this video, this was just tube sand from Menards. It was $3 and something cents for a $3.40 for a 45-pound bag of this. I can tell you right now, I'll never use the entire bag, even doing the HO layout below and the N scale above, because it goes a long ways. I've used maybe total so far on all of the areas I've done, probably a half of one of these cups, a half to 2/3 of one of those cups. So we just let this sit here and we do this, keep at this. I'm gonna really have to work quick on that. I'll have to remember that to get that. I'll have to, again, start at this in and jam in and try to get that up. I'll keep this close so that I can get that raised up the way it needs to be. And then this is gonna be the hard area right here. Getting around this curve. it's going to start, the final piece will cover the rocks a little bit back here, and I've tried to clear things out the best I can and get it as smooth as I can, but I know even after I have this dry, I'm probably going to have to backfill it with, I can't decide if I'm going to backfill with some foam, just a spray foam to fill the gaps of it, or if I could just do some joint compound. So I'll have to do something back there, but I won't know till I actually get it actually sealed into place. All right, so this is going good. Like I said, I'm really happy with it. That's going to just look great with that right there. Huh? And then with the fence and the lights. So that'll be nice. And then once I get this piece up, I'll span that across where this big gap is, and I'll show you how how nice that's going to look. So you can see the cut areas here. Part of the problem is I forgot to change out my blade when I got to doing this, and I had a sort of dull blade, and it ripped the foam up pretty good. So that's why I have that kind of look, and that's why I'm having these problems with this stuff. Because when you got a good sharp blade, I can get a good perpendicular to the ground. I can get a good straight cut straight down. I've got a good eye for that, but I was having issues with it being dull. So that's who? Oh, good. Hello there. Glad you joined us. We're just about done with this second panel here. We've got one more to go, and then we will go over and work on, I'll show you what we're going to work on next while we're waiting for this to tack up. I'll just slowly turn you around. This is all the lower level right here. We're going to work on this a little bit. I've got my overpass right here. I worked on this the other day. I put these on here like patches that you see, but I need to sand them down a little bit, so that's what I'm going to do after I get done doing these walls. And then, of course, Sunday we will be laying all the track that I've done all along here, and then next weekend, weekend after this one, we will do the ballasting of everything. So make sure. Oh, hello. You're a long ways from us. Good. I'm glad you're here. I hope you enjoy it. We're just working on the layout. So this is almost the point of being ready to go back up. I don't like, it says let it cure for 5 to 10 minutes. I've gone to the 10-minute mark before, but it really dries, and I like it to be a little bit sticky. All right, so while I'm waiting just a little bit longer on this, I'm going to get the fabric tack. Let me get a paper towel here so I can get that cleaned up a little bit. All right, so now I just got to get this to come down. All very slow moving paint or glues. I think I'm going to change this one out. I'll put my little bottle up here so it's already drained down into the cap area. All right, that's just about, well, we'll see here. I like just putting a quick go. Not a whole lot, just a little bit. A couple blops here and there. So like I said, this stuff sticks anything. I mean, we've used it to repair like decorations on clothing and like the, metal and plastics onto fabric. That's why it's Fabri-Tac. All that. So let's see, where did I put the cap for this? Ah, there it is. Okay. And this doesn't take air drying time, so that's why I always do it at the end. But it's just makes that one more adhesive on here. All right, so I think what I'm going to do, so I can get this underneath this lip, I'm going to just jam this in here like this, and I'm going to get it up to the top, and I'm going to hold it right there. Okay, now I'm just going to bring this on in, make sure everybody's at the top here, every section's at the top, not over it so that I don't have a sloped sidewalk above. Perfect. I don't think, yeah, it's smooth up here, tiny little gap here. You know, I'll probably just be able to take a little bit of gray paint, match the color to it, because I can do that with just blending. and put a little bead right there, and I'll hide that gap. Okay. Now, if you weren't here earlier when I was talking about this, I use a paper towel to do this because I don't want fingerprints. If I have any kind of pattern, I'd rather have a paper towel pattern because it just looks more random than swirly fingerprints. We're just about. Oh, thank you. How'd you like it? All right. Just about. Yeah, this really cut back at an angle when I was cutting it vertical. So the sidewalk will hide that. It'll be like this. So you won't even, like I was saying down at the other end, you won't even see that stuff there. That's gonna look fine. All right, I'm good with that. Okay. So I think I'm pushing down here at the bottom just a little bit, make sure everything's hitting where it's supposed to be. We don't have any weird areas that are. I do know I have a couple areas with the foam that went under. So I'm not going to try to push too much because I don't want it to be at an angle when we're videoing. So let me take a look. Let me get a look down here. That's pretty good. Let me get outside step over the lower jump track. Take a look here. That's not bad. Yeah, so if I have the camera set up right here, it'll look pretty vertical. Yep, I'm okay. I'm good with that. So we're just going to keep lightly dabbing it just to make sure we're sealed. Everything's all right. Yeah, I had to really look to see where the gap was. Yeah, so I'll just get a little bit of gray, blend it in, or I could put one of my graffiti panels right here that I was talking about. Just make a template for that, put the piece in, and get rid of it that way. That's probably that'll be easier to do than me trying to do a paint match, because then I can just paint it with the same spray. Okay, that's good. Okay. All right, so I'm going to reposition the camera. I'm going to set it up so you can see the curve area right here, and we'll just keep going around the curve. All right, let me see how that is. That's not too bad. I'll tip it down some. There we go. And it went back up. There we go. Okay. Yeah, you can see the end of the part. You can see some of the background buildings back there. So what I was talking about before, we print all our own stuff. These are all I-beams that we've printed. This was going to be the station that was going to be back over here, spanning the tracks, but we've done away with that. So using these kind of I-beams, we'll print up whatever links we need, and this will be covered. This whole area right here will be covered. And the big tower is going to sit right here and go up 3 feet, and we'll have the Union Station sitting right here. And we'll have like an elevator and stairs that come down to a platform right here for the passenger trains. These are just bigger rocks that came in the sand. Now you can kind of see how that stuff looks. It came out really nice. I was really happy with it. Okay. Yeah, we're about to get our second. We haven't needed more than that for right now because my son in college, we only have certain times of the year that we can actually print. We take good advantage of him. So, because he's the one that does all the work on it. And somebody said they had 4 printers. So that's what I was answering to. But we have found that when he is off and we're working pretty heavily on the layout, that one doesn't cut it. So we are going to be getting a second printer, and that'll probably do us for the rest of the time. Because all of these are all printed. And he does all of the design work. I tell him what I want, what style of windows, how big it needs to be, and he takes care of all of that. He has the thing, he's really good at it. He's got all this kind of stuff, and so we can print up anything we need, and so all our buildings are going to look really unique that we have. So it's worth having. If you can get one and you can take your time learning how to use it. It's well worth it for model trains. Oh, somebody asked what kind we have. I know it's a bamboo, but what's the model number? We have a bamboo A1. It's done, we've had it now for well over a year. We've had to replace the plate once. That was like I think that was a $25 charge. And then the filament for it, for what we use, comes out to being, we get 1,000 grams of it for about $14. And we usually buy a 2-pack, and when we do that, we get a discount getting it through everybody's loved and hated supplier, Amazon. They have great deals on the filament. We usually can get 2 rolls for about $23 with free shipping. So, give you an example. This building right here, it just doesn't have the back piece on it, but we've got it over there. I think that was probably 60 grams of material, right around there. Is that about right?
Yeah, they're about
60, 70, something like that?
PLA.
Yes, it is. So he said it is good, or what we use, and we do use PLA. We don't have a resin printer, and I've talked about that in the past, how just because of the smell and the toxic fumes and just doing this in our regular house, I don't have a basement. This is just we're in our second floor right here where all the bedrooms are. And that's where all of our printing is. I just didn't want to have those kind of fumes. I mean, I know I could vent them. If I put it, probably we have a walk-up attic, I could probably vent it up there, but then I'd have to create a whole thing for it. And I just didn't feel like doing that. Okay, somebody asked, do we print then paint, or do we just use the actual filament color? We paint, because the actual filament color, it's just about as bad as regular kits come from, like Walthers and other manufacturers. All the kits I've ever had, I've never gone with the straight plastic that comes from the factory. I don't like that look. I mean, I could dull coat it and knock it down, but it just looks fake. And this way, we can do whatever colors we want to do. I'll swing the camera back around here in just a little bit. This right here was the same color. Well, I don't know if you can see in the picture or not, but the tall tower is the same color. Was the same color as this, but we painted it. I can't remember what the color was, like an ivory. So, and that just gives us more options, because there's some of the towers we have coming, some of these that we're going to be getting ready to print, some of these big tall towers. We're going to have just beautiful colors for them. I mean, we're not going crazy. It's not going to be like an Easter egg hunt in here and you got just massive, just neon colors everywhere. I mean, it's going to be very subtle, like you see in a big city, big downtown city area. But we can do anything we want. We'll just go with the more neutral, lighter tones. So, yeah. So I thought about it on gray buildings, I might, but by the same token, by the time I get done doing my sanding and everything to get rid of the layering effects, it takes me about 20 minutes with a palm sander to do like the 4 panels that make the building. And then it's as smooth as glass. You wouldn't even know that this had any print lines to it. So, that's another reason why it's like, well, I don't really need to do the resin, because I can make it look as smooth and as nice with just a little extra effort. It's no big deal. But yeah, we want none of this. You see the gray everywhere here. This will all be colors. This we just got done printing these up and sanding and doing everything. And this is the primer coat that's on here. I've decided to hand paint these just because I want to get some dry brush effects and things. So that'll take me a little longer than if I was to say spray mask, the 3 different buildings that are there, and with just like doing the trim. But I really enjoy hand painting, and if you've watched any of the videos we've done, especially like that I've done on my weathering of cars and the hand painted graffitis, you'll see I've got a decent amount of control where you won't see paint streaks and stuff with the brushes. So you would never know I've even hand painted it. I could probably do that on the towers if I used a wider brush, but we do, just for time saving, we just use just rattle can for all of that. I use, we've done product reviews. I use Krylon and Rust-Oleum. They're both the same company now. And that's all I use for any of this stuff, including their matte finish. This is all matte finished from them, and then it's nice and flat. So yeah, so everything is painted.
And she says, I'm here hoping to see trains run.
You're here hoping to see trains run. Somebody's here. Well, we will be having trains run. We've got our HO operational, but we will be doing live feeds of our train runs. That'll be coming up as soon as this loop is done right here. These triple loops are done, which is just a jump track now at this point. Because that, like I said, as of Sunday, we'll have all the track down. I'll have all the ballasting finished next week, and we'll be able to start running these 3 main lines. So you will be seeing trains running here fairly shortly. Right now, I'm trying to get some things out of the way before I got to finishing these areas, so that I didn't take any chance of damage on anything, the tracks, any of that kind of stuff. So it's kind of just a process to get there. We've had a few run videos on our lower section, the HO there, and of course we have tons of run videos up from all the places we go. But today's just a build day. So now I'm gonna get that. I did scrape some out, so gonna be noisy for just a second again. Just gotta get the vacuum. I'll show you guys the lower level and the loop and the jump track if you haven't seen it. I'll show you what's going to be up here. Now that I can actually hold this up here, I'm going to be able to see if I need to do some more trimming right here, which I might need to. It's going to depend. All right, which way's up? That's up. Okay. Now we're going to put that right in there. Put that right against there. Oh, I'm going to have to cut that out right there a little bit more. That's for sure. This is going to be interesting. Fortunately, it's all going to be hidden. I really did a bad job of cutting right here. I can already tell because it's solid right down here. I'm up against foam and I'm not right there. So, yeah. I'll get it as best I can. I can see I'm going to have to cut that out just to get this to come down. Fortunately, it doesn't look like I'm going to have to do anything to the rock. I don't have to cut any of that out. I just got to cut some more of the base material out. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and set this here. So I just got to come right out over here. Yeah, so if you want to see trains run, like I said, we've got a lot of videos on trains running. And you'll be seeing what we're going to be doing here is once we have this all set up, the top layer set up, even though a lot of over his Christmas break that he has here, my son, like I said, is in college and he does this when he has time. We're going to get all of the big buildings printed. We have another 12, 13 huge skyscrapers left to go. Once those are done, we will be putting them in place because they're all going to be along here overlooking. These are all going to be the back, like I said, the back of the buildings. And all it's going to be overlooking these areas plus this right here. Once those are there, even though they're not going to be painted immediately, we will be setting the camera up. We have 3 spots picked out here where you can see them coming underneath the overpass over there, coming here, and over here. And we're just going to set the camera up and we're going to let it go. So we'll leave it on for probably maybe 3-4 hours during the day, at which point I will come in ever so often and I'll have some trains sitting on the sidings and I'll swap out what trains are running. So you'll have stuff different during that period. So if you get tired of seeing the certain trains, come back in about a half an hour, you'll see all new stuff. Okay, I'm going to a little bit. It is a hard challenge, but it's fun. I've been enjoying a lot of it. And the hardest part of this, actually, somebody said it looks like a hard challenge. The hardest part of this whole thing was deciding what to do. I didn't glue any track down ahead of time. I didn't know what I was going to do with my track. I didn't know it's already changed so much. We were only going to have two tracks down here, single track here, and two main lines in the back. Well, now we got three tracks down here. We're going to expand the elevated to two tracks, and we may have a point-to-point track that comes in somewhere over here for just getting to industry. So, but it's changed so much just since we started this that, and I'm glad because I like where we're going with it now versus it was always like, well, that's going to be okay, but I'm not sure about that. So we were able to adjust on the fly. And the thing that's nice is now that this is all done, here within the next week, week and a half, when we get the track and the ballast down, that's it. I mean, other than like putting the things over the top, this whole area right over here is going to be completely finished. So we'll actually have complete finished areas of the layout that we'll actually be running on, even though the rest of it looks like this. So I'm really happy with that. All right, a little more noise here. All right, then one more test fit to make sure I got that far enough. Sure I got the length. Okay, we're good now. All right, so we are going to put the glue on and do what we do. And after, like I said, after we're done with this, we will go to working on the bridge, the overpass, the freeway overpass. And I'll talk about what we're going to be doing on that. It's going to have some really good fence effects for safety for our little people walking across the bridge. All kinds of things for them to be safe with. I got to put downspouts on. I'm going to work on that a little bit today. Okay. That should be just about it for that. I'm going to leave it upright just in case I got to get a little bit more. All right. Let's put this in place. Got my arrow. Yep, I got my arrow showing which way is up. Push in. There we go. Push that down in like that. Get that pushed down like that. Get that like that. Get that in like that. There we go. All right, so we're just going to push all of this up. Yeah, I got a big angle gap here. You're never going to see it here, especially where this is all going to be covered, but I would have covered it anyway with the sidewalk like I've been talking about, so it doesn't really matter a whole lot. I just need to get this up and in place. Okay. Yeah, I got quite a bow there, but we're good. Okay, so now we'll peel this off. Hold this end. I'm going to try to keep from those stringers coming across as much as I can. Ah, that's all right. All right, so 5 minute right there, and we'll have this in. So I had to vacuum up a ladybug there. I don't know if you guys saw my video on that, but ladybugs love this layout. Well, they love what I do. They eat my acrylic paint. So never kills them. They eat it. We did a whole video and I showed the one while I was working on this whole scenery area right here. He kept following me around as I was painting the base paints. And if I had a puddle, he would just right up to it and then he'd start eating. You can actually, when he backed out of it, you could actually see a little area that was missing. So I read about it, and I guess the smell of acrylic paint is akin to pheromones for them, and they're attracted to it. So I don't know what he thought he was going to get, but he came and he was having a good time, and they do that all the time. I'll come up. I'll show you what I paint in. I have this. This is my this is what I use for my rust colors, my browns. So oftentimes I'll come up and I'll if I've just finished painting and I've got some in here, I'll find 2 or 3 in here, and they're just walking around having a good time eating paint. So yeah, so that was happening, but then they don't live very long, and we're heading well into the season now, where I'm only getting about I got one up on the ceiling right up there that I can see, and I think that's it. So, but I've had as many as like 5 in here, and they all just follow each other and go where everybody else goes. So that's my company when I'm bored here working on stuff. Anyway, oh, here, I'll show you. some of the weathering that I do on the cars. I don't know. Okay, this is weathering and graffiti on a cryo car. So all of my cars will look to some extent like this. There'll be no clean anything on my layout. So you can see even on the tops and ends, and takes a little bit of time. Wheels, trucks, the whole works. So I don't know about engines. I'll probably do a light effect on engines, and probably only one. I'm going to try to have two or three. I'm going to do mostly odd roads. So I really like odd roads or odd engines. One-offs like the heritage units and things like that. So that will be. I'll keep one that's perfect, and I'll probably weather one up. So that'll be coming. You'll see all of that on here. We'll be going, like I said before, we'll be going with DCC. I'm probably going to put 2 power leads per. I know everybody says, "Oh, you got to do it every 3 feet." Well, I've done it before, and I'm going to put my power leads right here so you don't see them. So they'll be underneath the building, and I'll drop them down. And over on the other side, I'll show you where that's going to go. I'll probably just have 2 up here for the 3 tracks. That should be more than enough. I think we're going to go with Digitrax. I've worked with both. Digitrax just seems a little easier to me to work, but that's my own personal preference. So I've done more with Digitrax than I have NCE. Those are 2 I've done, but we'll see. I may go with NCE. I've had a lot of people say that's what I should go with, and I've had a lot of people say, "Oh yeah, Digitrax." So I don't know, but it will be DCC. Everything will be up here. Um, I'm not going crazy with everything. Guys just. I mean, I've seen pictures of the undersides of guys' layouts that have absolutely everything wired in for DCC operations. Even to all the control things for their signals and all that. I just want to run and have a nice time and a fun time with it. After I get everything done here, it's not like I'm finished here. Next step is going upstairs. I've got an area in the attic that I've got a dog bone area up there that I'm going to have roughly in scale. I'm probably going to have a good 30 feet each way. So if I do 2 main lines, we're probably looking at on each main line 60, 70 feet of main line, which for in scale is pretty good size. And I'll be able to do a lot longer trains up there, and that's probably where I'm going to put the ore dock and the ore ships and all of that kind of stuff, along with container cargo ships for containers, along with some of the cranes. So I'll be getting this done, and then I'll be moving up to there. So I don't really know how much I'm going to be getting into the massive electronics parts of all of this. I'll have enough to where it looks really good, and of course I will have stuff lit up because I'll create a where everything can come to where I like using fiber optics a lot, so I'll be using fiber optics on a bunch of stuff, and I'll just have like one light source that all the strands will feed to, and then the rest of it I'll have to where it's all got the resistors and things they need, and I'll just have maybe 2 or 3 spots that all the light power comes from that runs through the whole thing, and because I like the elevated track up here, I do plan on having light sources on the tracks up above and down below too, because underneath the tracks is going to be the main road that cuts through town. So there'll be a road there with cars, and then there'll be lights shining down too. I don't plan on doing a whole lot of night running, so I'm not going to put a lot into it. Uh, it may happen like, maybe once or twice a month I might do it, but otherwise it'll all be daytime running stuff. All right, so I think we're ready to put this piece up. So let me get a little bit of Fabri-Tac. I should have had this upside down. And then once this is up in place and I know it's good, we'll move over to the bridge. And like I said, all I'm going to do on that today is I'm going to sand that surface and probably put downspouts in for the eventual gutter, the drains and the gutters that I'm going to have there. All right, let's see. Put a nice little batch of stuff here. A little bit extra. Okay, that's pretty good. All the little stringies off. All right, so again, I'm going to try to do this kind of quick definitely have a lot of these little stringers coming across. So I'll use a paper towel and I'll clean everything up and get it off my landscaping when I get that it all done. I do have the arrow going up, right? Yes. Gotta get it in there. This will be the hardest part, is coming around this curve right here. Got it in there where it needs to be. It's already grabbing. So I'm gonna have to work quick on this and get it down and in here. There. Okay. Yeah, that's a big slope on the pink right there. I'll hide all that though. And this, there's not much here I'm going to have to deal with. I'll probably just backfill this right here with joint compound. And that'll be enough. I'm just going to get this to where it's pretty well just sticking right there. And get this to adhere right here. I'll be happy. Oh, that went in nice. Okay. Starting to do what it needs to do. Get that down right there. Okay. All right, I think I'm good with that. Get some of these little string things out of here. Yeah. And once when I get to the point here of doing this, I'll straighten this. When I put the joint compound in, I'll pull this out a little bit. I'll make it more perpendicular, so it'll be fine. And then, of course, a lot of this is going to be hit anyway, because this is going to be where like I said, the stuff is. And again, let's see what we got here. Yeah, see if I had, there's no problem. No, it's flush. That's the important thing. So, yep. Not going to need it here. I'm not, probably up to about here. We'll have the sidewalk come up to about right here, because this is probably where the I-beams are going to come across, and then like right in here somewhere. And then this is all going to be parking. So you'll be able to see through the I-beams and see everything underneath here. I'm going to build a foundation for the big tall tower. It's probably going to be like right here. That'll be sitting underneath for the big monster that's going to go up. And then we'll have, like I said, the stairs that come down and an elevator shaft right there. Okay, so I got this done. I'm happy. I can't tell you how happy I'm getting this finished. So I'll come in here after this all dries, and I'll get everything cleaned up. And you can see right here, I got some gaps, but the sand will fill all of that. So I'm not concerned about that in the slightest. So I just wanted this smooth up here on top, so when I start to work with these things, I'm not having to adjust any of the I-beams heights. Everything will be all nice and even and smooth. And it all came down here nicely. All right, good. We're done with that. I'm pretty good with that. Yep. All right. So I'm going to turn this over, and I'll turn this around, and I'll show you the bridge and what I'm getting ready to do on it. This is not much left to go for today, but I'll show you what we're doing on it. So let me turn the light back and put it back over here so we can see. Okay. So this is our drive off, obviously. So I made it wide enough to do a total of 2 cars going each direction. We're going to have grass right here in a picnic area with a fence that's going to run around the track, right by the track all the way. And this side is going to have parking lots, so I'll do some kind of a black top right here. And all grass around here, and this will be a rail fan site. We'll have a lot of people here with cameras and things watching the trains come under the bridge. So what I was saying here is I'm just going to sand this right here today. Get it ready to go for paint because the handrails and the wrap over will be applied separately because they're going to be a different color. And then I'll dull coat everything after it's all put together. What I'm going to actually do is we're going to have the type of, well, it's like a fence, but it comes and it curves over a little bit. You've seen them on overpasses where they curve, so it makes it harder for people to climb over the tops. So that's the kind of we're going to have down here. I'll have to use my heat gun. We'll make the fence go the entire length. We'll just make it a little bit taller than we need it to. And then I'll use my heat gun and like a metal tube, and I'll just curve it slowly over the top so that it gets that nice curve on that fence all the way across the top there. All right, so let's get this off. Let me get these little cars off of here. I was using those for scale. I have printed, if you haven't seen the videos, these are all printed, the bases, and they were made to the exact height we needed them. And again, once we have these glued to the underside and I've got them set in place and permanently, then we'll come around the bases and I'll finish up the landscaping on that. But you can see we've got a decent amount of clearance. If I need to, for support on this, to keep things from sagging in the future, I can always come in with some I-beams in here and just put them across in the middle and straighten things out. But I do believe I went with a little thicker styrene than I normally would have, but I use a little thicker along the side here so that it would keep everything straight and it wouldn't sag. So, because I'm not going to have room to put another set of these uprights right here because the third track. Otherwise, I probably would have had the tracks go on either side, but I think that's going to be the best way to do that. All right, so I'm going to pull this off, and then I'm going to sand this, and I'm going to add the drains. I'm probably going to put one about, probably like, I'm going to make a mark with a pencil where I'm going to want them, and I'll put little downspouts, probably somewhere between these two areas. And then that's our abutment over here that we've got custom printed off that. So let me bring this over here. I'm going to set this up right here. This is the work area, obviously. Let me go mark where I want to put those downspouts. If I can find a pencil. I'm not, there we go. Get that. Okay, so I'm just going to make a mark. I'm going to want one right here. I'm going to put one right here. I'm going to put one right here. I'm going to put one right there. Okay. Now let's lift this off. Some light on. All right, is that enough light? That seems to be fairly good. I got a backlight here. That'll help a little bit. Okay. So what we're going to do now, let me see if this is good. Yeah, that's pretty good. Okay. So I'm going to use a very fine sandpaper. Well, not very fine, but decently fine sandpaper. Let's see. I usually have a little, yeah, here's a 600 right here. You can see there's some pretty good texturing to this. I just kind of went fast with it. I carved the splits for the concrete right here already. So when it paints, it'll sink and you'll be able to see that. So I was trying to be careful not to get any down in those lines. And so now what we'll do is I'm going to take this really fine grade stuff. So we're just going to do little circles and back and forth. Because I want to get rid of most of the ridging, because when I get ready to weather this piece, well, not weather it, but wear it, I'm going to get a little in-scale car that I'll roll its tires through paint and then get most of the paint off on a paper towel so it's like a dry brush effect. And I'll go back and forth dozens and dozens of times to get the path of the vehicles. And then between the tread marks, the wear path of the tires, I will do some black that will be for like oils and stuff, and cars that have those kind of issues. All right, so I just about got this. I don't want to take too much off. I want to have a little bit of a roughness to it, so that when I paint this the concrete color, you can definitely tell this looks like a patch. So I'm just going to do just a little bit. I do this because you clean your sandpaper doing it that way. That way you just keep going. That's looking pretty good. This is going to have a nice patch to it. It's going to have some areas right here I can see already standing out that when the paint is on here, it'll look like. Well, sort of retired. Somebody says that you can tell I'm retired. LOL. Actually, I go to a lot of train shows and I sell a lot of my artwork. I was a railroad artist, or am a railroad artist. I don't do any of the artwork anymore because I have issues with my eyes. I've had 2 eye surgeries. So I lost the ability to do the artwork, but over a 30-year history of doing art, I've done probably, I think it's about 150 original pieces. I showcase a piece. I show it each Sunday when I'm doing the live feed, when we do a work thing. Growing up in the Southwest, I was mostly exposed to Santa Fe, then became BNSF and Union Pacific. So that's mostly what my artwork is. But I do have a number of Midwest pieces. I used to know almost everybody that worked in the main offices for out in the Southwest for both UP and Santa Fe. And my artwork, I don't know if it still is anymore, if it wound up going home with people, but my artwork was hanging up in most of the offices, regional offices and corporate offices of the big railroads. I did both steam and diesel, and I'd still be doing it today if it wasn't for the fact that I lost my nearsightedness. When I had my cataract surgery and they put the lenses in, I lost the ability to do the nearsighted stuff. I tried using different glasses, using magnifiers, but after about 2-3 hours, I just kept getting these terrible headaches working on the stuff. So I had to just kind of retire from it. But we still travel to shows, and I still sell my artwork from time here and there on various platforms online. I sell my custom painted and graffitied cars, along with custom engines and things that we do up, and buildings. We sell a bunch of buildings. So I'm sort of retired, but not retired. It's just that this is now the business. And so we just decided to launch a YouTube channel showing what we do. And we've been at it for a little over a year. We've got 1,000+ videos now. We've started to get people sending us products for review, so we're starting to do that. So this is actually turning into probably the new and final business I do. Because being close to 60 now, I probably do this for like another decade or so, and then see where I'm at that point. But I'm having a lot of fun with it. Like I said, I wish I'd started this when my dad was still here, because he was the model railroader. Always was. And would have been fun to have done it with him. But it's good now. Getting to share some of this. My son does the all of the electronic stuff. He's my IT guy. He takes care of getting our live feeds going. He takes care of putting all of our videos together, doing all the editing, all that kind of stuff. He does all my printing for the buildings, and he goes to college. So he's a busy boy. And but it seems like he enjoys it. I think we're going to be adding rail fanning to our page here pretty soon, our channel here pretty soon. We're kind of right in the heart of some of the best rail fanning areas in the country. So we'll be going out and getting some good video. We'll probably be doing that because we go out to just rail fanning for ourselves all the time. So we might as well get some videos and put them up on the site, on the channel here. So you'll be seeing those coming pretty soon. And we do have, we did just launch our, sorry, I'm just getting a new, I'm just folding this over because that's pretty well shot on that side now. We do now have our member section. It's not much. I think it's like $2.99 a month. And that gets you some extra videos. It'll probably get videos like this. It's going to be getting, it's not going to affect our normal load of videos that we do daily. We put up between 3 and 4 videos a day. We try to anyway. We do a couple shorts, a long, maybe a how-to, and all that. That'll always still go onto the main channel that way. The memberships will be just picking up extra live. We always will have our live sessions for our just regular channel on Sundays like we do. But then we'll start adding some extra live sessions and things for the members section. And it may just be doing things like this, where we just sit around the layout and I'm working on stuff and answering your questions about things if you have them, and showing you what's next and what we're working on. And so it could just be stuff like that. I'm not sure how many we'll do. We'll probably do.
Eye surgery sounds scary. I hate to lose
Oh,
my sight.
oh. Somebody said eye surgery sounds scary. He'd hate to lose his sight. He used to work for BNSF. It was scary and it was painful. I'm not going to beat around the bush on that and sugarcoat it or anything. And I've had a lot of issues since then. But the milkiness that I had with the cataracts was terrible. But now what's happened is one of the side effects that can happen is that you you lose the ability for your tear ducts to work properly. Your eyes dry out, and I mean they really dry out. I get double vision a lot. Like I'm working with double vision today. Pretty much every day I work with double vision. Um, I use drops that the doctor told me to use, and it does a good job. I put them in before bed at night so that I can actually open my eyes in the morning. Otherwise, I probably wouldn't be able to. They'd just be sealed shut. So it was a challenge, but it was either that or go blind from the cataracts. So I guess this is just what I'm going to have to do. And I had the surgery done 10 years ago. I was one of the youngest people the doctor said ever had cataracts. I had the surgery when I was 50, and he said he never really sees anybody until they're in their 60s. So it's been a challenge, and like I said, it did pretty much take it out for the artwork. That was pretty much done with that. All right.
Stacy says, I like the smaller scale. My eyesight is not good enough.
Yeah, and I'm that's why I do both. That's why I've got a shelf. Somebody says that she likes the smaller scale, but their eyesight isn't good enough for the smaller scale. Um, I That's why I have the HO. You can probably see the HO in the background around here. There's a big building over here that I did a custom build on. It was a cement plant. When it gets to be bad enough where I can't do the in anymore, I will shift over to doing more of that. But for right now, it's okay. I can do what I need to do. As you can see right here, I've got my magnifier and I've got my cheaters on um, from the glasses, so I can pretty much function with what I need to on stuff like this. I also have where are they? I mean, I've got a real heavy duty set of uh, magnifying glasses that I've got for that I can actually see down into the almost into the pores in my hand. And when I'm having to do some real heavy duty stuff, now I'll wear those. All right, that's looking pretty good. I can see right now I'm going to have to redefine the lines because some of the putty did go into it. Oh, this is the putty I use, Tamaya. We did a product review on that. Again, not sponsored by them, just the stuff that I use. I used to use Squadron Putty, but they went out of business or got bought out. I don't know what the deal was. But this basically works the same way. The Squadron Putty was just a little tackier and was easier. You'd put it on and it would like stick. This, I've really got to mush it in, but it's the only thing on the market right now. So All right, let me see what I can do here as far as getting my grooves put back in.
Stacy says I'm borderline diabetic and it scares me because of the vision issues I'm
Oh, yeah, I'm kind of the same way. Somebody said they're borderline diabetic and it scares them because of the vision issues. Trust me, I understand that completely. I mean, I worry every day about losing my vision. Uh, and when you've been a visual artist your whole life and that's what you've done, it really can be scary. So I understand. It's not an easy thing to cope with. Um, just take care of yourself. Do what you're supposed to do. There's all kinds of great medicines. My mom has got macular degeneration, and her doctor put her on. They caught it fairly early, and he put her on this pill, and it's doing a great job. At least I'm assuming it is. She stays on it, and I from what I she last told me is it's stopped. It's either slowed or stopped the progression. So take care of yourself. Uh, we've got all kinds of things to help. That have been developed over the years, especially recently. Um, so just yeah, see what you can do about just eye health. Take your vitamins. Eat some good vegetables. People say, "Oh, that doesn't help." Yeah, it does. Uh, just your lifestyle alone, you can uh, you can do a lot to help yourself. All right, I'm getting the rest. All right, looks like I got my pour lines in. This is what this is like when they were building this bridge, if it was real. Um, this is how they would have poured the sections of it as they were coming across. All right, I like. I've been sitting here. I'm throwing it in the reflection, and I can see some lower areas and some higher areas, and that's what I wanted. That's exactly what I wanted. So that when I paint this thing all one color, uh, it'll look, it'll have these areas right here. You can actually see these lighter areas right here. Those are recesses. That's going to look perfect. That's going to give a real great effect right here. So I'm really pleased with that. Okay, so I think we're good. And of course, I will take a damp towel and I'll wipe all of this off before I paint it. There's the underside. It's just a piece of styrene, and I just built up the sides with extra styrene pieces. You can see, oh, that's a little closer. So what we'll do is, like I said, I'll get some of these that actually have the wheels that roll, and we'll put the double yellow line down the middle and the dash line right here between the lanes, and then in between I'll get that, and I'll get that, and I'll put the paint in my the bowl, whatever color. It'll probably be a darker gray than whatever than what this concrete gray is. This is the color it's going to be. You can see it's a nice concrete. Um, what I'll do is the reason I haven't I've got to weather these, so all my edges are going to be done in lighter colors. But lighter color and with some streaks down. I'll do the same thing on the sides of the bridge, and then I'll glue all of these to the bottom, and then just set them in place, and then it'll be done. And then I get the wheels. I'll just roll it back and forth just carefully, like that, so I get nice straight lines. And I'll go both ways, and I'll get that all done. And then on the end here, I just put an extra piece of styrene, right, like that, to make it look like that's where the concrete was. This is the thickness of the concrete right here, as it just cuts off on the edge and goes off into infinity. So we are going to be doing something really cool. I'm almost 100% positive we're going to be doing an edge effect all the way around. Instead of just doing fascia, and instead of the fascia effect and just being painted, there's something coming that we may be doing. We're not going to spoil a surprise on it. I'll make that decision after I get done doing the rail and roadbed. I'm probably not going to do it until I get done getting everything back here finished, or at least in place, because I don't want to break anything that might be here.
Stacy
Yeah.
says, your videos, I've learned so much.
Oh, well, I'm glad. Stacy said she loves watching our videos, and thank you. And she's learned a lot. Person's learned a lot. Well, I'm glad. I'm glad. That's what these are all for. I'm just showing you the techniques that I've learned over the years, and some I've picked up from other people. Some I've just developed on my own. Um, Doing the art. If you watch my rock videos, my rock painting videos, that's all techniques that I've initially I saw people doing staining of rocks, but I just took it to the next level on how I do it. Um, and that's just using my art background to do those things. So I will be bringing my art into play on a lot of it, especially when we get to the water effects, to make it look three-dimensional deep, but it's not. It's not going to be any deeper than the surface of the wood. But I'll show you how to paint all the water to get that done with just simple acrylics and oh, it's right here. Isn't this the stuff or is this the microsol? Oh, that's the microset. There's an extender for acrylics that you can use that makes them wet and blend beautifully. But I'll be showing you how to do all those things up when I get to those areas on the layout. So I think we're done. I think we're done for the day. We do have two more lives coming up, two more live streams coming up today. They're not anything in the layout, and you won't see me. We've got if you've seen our live streams that we've had, we just did our we just set up another one of our trees, and we've got the train going, and be some will be music and some will be just the sound of the fireplace. But we'll be running those two live streams starting here about another hour or two. We'll be doing a vertical and a horizontal both today, and then the work session that we have on Sunday will be we'll probably be doing it like we did last Sunday. We'll do half of it vertical and half of it horizontal, and it's going to be probably a long day. I'm probably just going to turn it on and let it go because it's going to take quite a while to lay this track down to get it even and perfect the way I want to do it and get it measured right. I'm going out tomorrow. We got a big snowstorm coming again. We picked up last weekend. We picked up 10 inches of snow. We're supposed to get 1 to 3 inches Saturday night into Sunday, so we're going to go out and get everything done. And I'm going to get the right nails. I thought I had the right nails, but I had HO nails for track. I need N-scale nails for track. I thought I had a package of them around here, but I can't find them. So I've got to get some thinner, smaller nails. And then we're just going to start up on the top. We're going to start about right here, and I'm going to work each direction. And we'll just be doing the curves. We'll get all that done. So it'll be just another session, just doing work and talking and answering questions. So I hope you guys have enjoyed that kind of a thing. It seems we get a lot of people come in on them, so uh, hopefully it'll expand over the years as we get along, especially as we start doing. Because what I'll do is when we get to the point of the lower level being done, and I'm working on the upper level, I'll start running trains while I'm doing work. Because I'll be able to work. I've got a nice steps tool. I'll be able to work over the top and not bother the equipment at all that I'll have running. I'll probably actually make a something that'll just that I can clip onto the edge. That'll be like a wood or something that'll just be right over the track to keep anything from dropping on them while I'm working on it in an area that I can just move around. But we'll actually be having things will just be running constantly once we get this first loop done. I've got the trains all. I've got a bunch of the container cars all weathered up, ready to go, along with the containers. I don't know if you guys have seen. I get my hand clean here. I don't want to get anything on it because this stuff gets really dirty. Here. Okay, this is one of my weathered cars, and all of my end scales are just like this. So that's hand painted graffiti on there. That's not a decal. So you can see how I got the fades done on it. Got the rusting all the way around. We've got the trucks done, the side frames, ends, the whole works. So everything you see, like I said when I showed you the one up above, will be that way. All the end scales that way, all the HOs that way. So I just like the realistic look. Some's heavier than others, some's lighter, but I tend to be more towards the heavy end on the weathering. But it's fun to do. I love doing the graffiti. I want to get back to it. I'm actually going to do a video or two of I do it right here. I just put the car down on its side. I get all my paints going. I get a big plate set up that has all my color wheel for color palette for what I need. And I'll just sit in. I'll just start doing the graffiti down the sides of cars. So I'll probably do a video showing that. That probably be coming up in the fairly near future after I get this lower set of loops done, and we're good on that. So, all right. So I think we are good on this for the day. I'm glad you guys have joined us. Thank you very much. I do appreciate you coming in. It means it makes it worth my time to come in. Especially when you guys start asking questions, it makes the time go by. It lets me disconnect from what I'm working on and keeps it from being so boring. By just answering questions, and it doesn't bother me at all. I can work and talk at the same time. So, just if you have any questions or any comments as we're doing these projects, just feel free to chime in. Always appreciate it. So I'll let Gabe come in and shut this off. I'll put it back in the original spot, and we'll just do a sign off here pretty soon. Get this out of the way. Oh, I was going to show you the lower level. That the jump track that I was talking about up above. I'll show you what we're going to build. Here is this is where the end scale right here is going to go. It's just like this. So this is the jump track we have that goes across. Here's all the end scale track that'll be on the level above. I've got to paint it all. This goes back behind the desk and over that other wall. So the end scale will be connecting up right here from these 3 tracks, coming this way and going the other way, and be hooking up right here. So that's why I've got to probably cut this back just a little bit. So that'll be that. So I'll put this here. I don't know if I'm going to be in focus or in the frame, but I'll try to be. Get the lights off. The glare's down. Okay, so I think that'll do it. I'm going to come and check on this in about an hour, make sure nothing's pulled back, that it hasn't come away from the wall at all, that I glued to there, and it's looking good. So, yeah. So by Sunday, that'll be done. I'll probably have the scenery put back in. It'll be all finished up to that point, and we'll be doing the track. So, glad you guys were here. Dave, you want to come shut this?
Yep.
Glad you guys were here, and I hope you have a good weekend. If we don't see you Sunday, we'll probably be doing another one of these next week in the middle of the week sometime. Probably the roadbed at that stage. Just be doing the 3. That's going to take a full day to do almost all of this. So if you missed the track, come back for that next week. So otherwise, have a good weekend, and we will see you guys later.